Hi, today we're gonna see how to solve another math problem that is called pair of toys. Well, basically in this problem they are going to give us two numbers, n and k. N means that we are going to have toys in the shop for sale, and the cost of this is going to be from 1 to n. So it means that if we have 3 toys, then the first toy is going to cost 1, then the second 2, then the third is going to cost 3 burles. And they are also giving us k, which means that we have to choose 2 toys in such a way that their total cost is k burles. So, and we have to print how many pairs can we have, and these pairs must be different. It means that if we have a pair with 2 toys that cost 1 and 2, we cannot count if we have a 2 and 1 because they are considered as equal, and we cannot select the toy twice, so it won't be repeated. So in the case that we cannot satisfy, we're just going to print 0, and otherwise we're going to print the number of pairs that we can have with these conditions. So let's see with this test case how we can solve it. So well, basically what they are telling us is that we are going to have n toys and we have to pay 5. So basically they are telling us that this is going to be the cost. So it means that the first toy costs 1, the second 2, the third costs 3, and so on. And we have to select the 2 pairs in which we can add 5, and we have to print how many different pairs we can select. For example, we can take 1 and 4, 2 and 3, and this is our answer. We can just get 2. So we can notice something here, that the maximum value that we can add is my last toy plus the previous toy. So it means that with this quantity we can add at most 15. That is going to be 8 plus 7. So this is our condition to print 0. So if our k is greater than our number of toys plus our number of toys minus 1, then we just print 0. And otherwise we'll see how we can solve it. Well, we have to consider something, and that is that we have to check 2 options: when our k is lower or equal than our n, and when our k is greater than our n. So for example here, let's suppose that they are giving us this k that is 5. We know that the most pair that we can have is going to be it's going to be k minus 1. This is our start. For example here, if we want to form 5, we know that this is the maximum toy that we can buy, because we can unify with 4 and 1. And if we select the 5, we cannot form it with anything, because we have to have at least 2 toys in order to form a pair, and the other minimum is 1, so it's going to give us 6, and this doesn't satisfy. So we will always start with k minus 1 when our k is lower or equal than our n. So for example here we know that we will start from the 4th, and from here we have to notice something, that we will always add it with the with the first, and then the next we are going to add it with the previous one. So it's going to be always like this, like the first number is going to be added with our last, then the second with the previous and our last, and so on. So at the end what we have to do is that this number we're going to split it by 2. This is the number of pairs that we're going to have. So this is going to be our solutions when our k is lower or equal than our n. So let's suppose that our k is greater than our n. It's something similar. So let's see. So for example, if our k is going to be 10, let's suppose this. We know that what we have to do is that we should select how many numbers do we have that in order to form the 10. So in order to do this, it's going to be simple. We're going to do our n is going to be less than our k minus our n plus 1. But let's see how we are getting this, because here let's count our numbers. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're counting 7 numbers. So let's see if this satisfies. It's going to be our 8 minus our 10 minus 8 plus 1. So it's going to be 8 minus 10 minus 8 is minus 2 plus 1. So 8 minus 2 is going to be 6 plus 1 is going to be 7. So this is the number that we have in order to form the 10. So this is why we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 elements, because we can add 2 with 8, 3 with 7 and 4 with 6, and then at least we're just going to have 5. So we know that we have 7 elements here. We split by 2 and our answer is going to be 3.5, and we do the floor. So our answer is going to be 3. It means this. So this is the thing that we have to consider. When it's lower, it's just the k minus 1 split by 2. And when it's greater, we are just going to do this in order to get the element. So let's go with another example. Let's say that we want the 15, that it's our latest value that we can get. So for the 15, we know that we're just going to have 2 values, and it's going to be split by 2. It's going to be just 1 pair. So let's see. My 8 is going to be my k, that is 15 minus my number 8 plus 1. So this is going to be 8 minus 7 plus 1. So 8 minus 7 is 1 plus 1 is 2. So this satisfies. So this is something that we have to consider in order to get our solution. So let's see how we can code it. I'm going to use C++. You can use any other language. So I'm going to import all the libraries. And I will start reading the input they give us. Well, first of all, notice that they are going to give us until 14, so we need a long. And let's use the same as they are given, n and k. While we read the n and we read the k, and let's get the longest number that we can get, that is, let's call it as maximum. So my max is going to be n plus n minus 1, as we said. So now let's just see that if my k is greater than my maxi, we just print 0. And otherwise, we are going to just consider two things. If my k is lower or equal than my n, we are just only going to print chi minus 1 split by 2, as we saw in the example. And otherwise, we're just going to do that it's going to be my n minus my k minus n plus 1 split by 2. So let's just confirm that we have everything, and this is going to be our solution. So let's test if it's right. Okay, so let me test with the latest test case. Now in the first, okay, so let's send it. So feel free to comment. If you have any question, please write a comment. Thank you.